Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. My name is Liel. I'm Director of Marketing at Razor Labs. Razor Labs is a provider of cutting-edge AI-based predictive maintenance solutions. We work with mining companies across the globe, helping them predict failures, prevent downtime, improve maintenance efficiency, and boost the safety. Here with me is Jake Thornton. He's Head of Mining Operations, KPMG Australia. He works with mining companies in Australia, helping them with transformation and strategy, and mainly helping them with getting the change management stick. Thank you for joining the stage today. Okay, so 2025 is another critical year for mining industry. A lot of influencing factors, a lot of pressures from having the stability of reliability of critical minerals across the globe, to operational and financial risks, and to attracting and retaining talent. So what is your look on mining companies and facing those challenges in 2025?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that to reference what Neville said, we put out a consulting report, and it's obviously very important. So a couple of the key factors that came in through developing that report and talking to people in the industry is there's significant, among a lot of things, there's significant financial and operational pressure around costs, commodity prices, around risk, all sorts of factors. So collectively we're feeling that, whether it's services companies to the providers or operators themselves. So it's kind of the shift that I've seen is mining companies focusing or shifting focus from growth at all costs to being able to do more with what we have. So focusing on productivity, and obviously maintenance operations are all a big part of the cost profile. So that's a huge lever to pull. So being able to improve at least a percentage or a couple of percent within that maintenance operation space is for companies. Now, what role does digital transformation play in that? I think it's one of the tools in the toolkit that can be rolled out. The tool is not going to be the only thing. Making sure that the change sticks and working with people, combining that with your process, and then obviously using that tool in a way that can be embedded and answer that problem. So one of the examples that comes to mind when working with a large iron ore producer and very complex, relatively new operation, so very complex integrated scheduling process from processing through to mining and everything in between. So yes, we use the tool to manage that integrated scheduling process, but then how we made that stick and how we actually got benefit out of it was making sure that people were built into that process, they knew what the tool was for, it was actually aligned and solving a real world business problem. So really kind of the takeaway is how do we balance what we're doing in all spaces, called innovation and cost excellence. So we're not just doing things for the sake of doing things, we're actually understanding that there's a real problem to solve here and what's the right tool in the process to be able to do.
Yeah, so one of the key problems really is the financial pressure, financial risk. This was outlined in KPMG 2025 risk report. So financial, operational, and human power risks are very, very strong ones. And thank you for outlining that. And I think the technology is here to help mining companies solve those challenges. If we're looking at Razor Labs, we see an immense impact on the bottom line of the companies. So our customers are typically divided into two groups. One type of our customers would like to increase the throughput. So every ton counts, and whatever extra ton is recovered is multiplied by the dollars and by eventual revenue increase. And the other type of our clients would typically not want to increase their revenues. They would say, we want just to optimize our maintenance. We want to optimize the costs. We want to decrease those. So we see our company really taking those mining companies from unplanned to planned maintenance, and the ROI is really, really significant there. And we see how we can help them with that financial pressure that's happening. We work with a coal site, one of the major coal sites, that actually measured all the shutdown hours last year, and they translated them into dollars. In the end of the day, they measured the total cost of downtime as $3.8 million, and they measured the impact of Razor Labs predictive maintenance systems on them in the beginning of the year. It was just over 4 months. 50% of the assets were measured, and then they could see the cost savings of 1.1. So technology is really, really great. The ROI is there. Impact is very, very obvious. But to get that teams and the mining sites to adopt it is the whole other story. So getting the change management moving and having the companies adopt the digital transformation is the whole different challenge. How do you feel about it when working with mining companies here in Australia?
Yeah, everything you said is spot on. So the kind of thing that stuck out in what you were saying is being able to actually articulate the ROI is going to be really important because, one, internal decisions don't get made on, I think I've got a good idea. They get made on, is it going to provide a return? So, yes, being able to articulate the ROI and being able to implement tools is very important. But then the good change management to make that stick is going to be even more important. So I often say that the tool delivers the ROI, but the change management is the multiplier of that ROI, so we realise it over time. So one of the thoughts on making change management stick and what makes good change management, I think trust is the number one part of that.
100%.
For both the people on the ground floor, the frontline operators being able to trust what is being done, and that goes back to, is it aligned to a business problem? People are brought in to the challenge and kind of taken on the journey from the early days. They feel like they're involved, but also importantly, they feel like they're trained and they're prepared to take something on. And then the big one as well is that leadership ability. So
Absolutely.
this is a good idea, like help me deliver this change, not just kind of here's a tool and figure it out. Or it's being pushed from the ground up. A really good example, we worked with a large gold mining client, and it was around optimising truck shovel performance. So there was a set of KPIs, they're great. We did some analysis and it came out to be what it was. But the frontline operations teams, it was crucial to make sure they understand what those KPIs meant, so then they're able to use it. There's no point doing a set of KPIs and working away. You're enabling them with the right information to be able to speak a different language, realise where there are improvement opportunities, and actually do something with them. So I think that was a really good example for me where change management training approach is really important. So yeah, I think acting early, getting people bought in, making sure leadership is involved, and all singing from the same time sheet.
Yeah, and I find that all those factors that you just mentioned really, really crucial for change management and adoption of technologies. So when it comes to trust, for example, we had this case where we were installed at I think vanadium site with the teams in South Africa, and there was a very, very great beginning of the connection between our teams and theirs. So the relationship was there. They clicked right away, and they had a very good rapport. And then at some point, they had a case where they disconnected the entire site. They had a plant shut down. They came back, and then when we started monitoring their equipment again, we saw that one of the ball mills was deteriorating really, really rapidly. There was like a huge crash. So we notified the team right away. The solution notified the team, and they said, listen, we just came back from the plant maintenance. Everything should be fine. They sent their teams to measure the vibration of that ball mill manually. They came back, they said everything's fine. But because we managed beforehand to build a connection with the team and to get that rapport going, they said, you know what, we'll listen to you. We'll listen to what your system is saying. And they disconnected the ball mill again. They opened it, and they really saw that whatever we predicted, that there's going to be a failure in the bearing and the drive end, it really happened. It happened for a funny reason. Apparently, when the ball mill is not rotating, there's a lot of pressure coming down on the bearing, and it gets damaged. They were not aware of that. We notified them. And once they saw that what we predicted and what actually happened in the bearing of the ball mill was exactly the same, first of all, the GM said 100% correct, we're so happy. But since then, the trust in our technology became just so much more strong, so much higher. And from then on, it was easier for us to just, smoothly continue the adoption and the deployment on other assets. So that was like really, really amazing. And when it comes to people, I would love to your input on the situation of manpower here in Australia. But recently we sat down with the head of mining sector at Microsoft, Joe Starwood, and he, at every conference, he is that visionary, the angry visionary when he comes and he says, we have to adapt technology really, really fast because according to his calculations and according to the sources that he cites, in 2030, by 2030 in US, 50% of the mining professionals will retire, which means there will be a huge gap of all those years of expertise, all those years of mining experience, and there will be a need for technology to bridge that gap. So for us, it's very, very obvious that AI technology can bridge that. But then again, when we're going back to mining professionals on the sites, we feel like there's a lot of mistrust and a lot of suspicion coming towards the AI technology. What do you have to say about that, and what do you feel about that kind of suspicion? Is that an okay hunch?
Yeah, I think that kind of anyone that can spell AI at the moment is interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
There is real world application. I think there's huge value in it. Skepticism is natural, so we're going to see skepticism as AI gets adopted, as other technologies get adopted. Mainly because they can't trust what it's doing. It's sometimes a bit of a black box, and they don't see what it's actually performing and what it's improving. So, like any good engineer, I'm also skeptical. So, being able to get into the inner workings of the thing and make sure I understand it before I can fully trust it. But that really goes to the point is when, whether it's AI or otherwise, when designing and setting up these solutions, making sure we're involving the people that are going to be using them. If we're able to co-design it with those people, that would be first prize, but sometimes not, and that goes back to the kind of training and taking them on the journey. So, yeah, I think that getting people involved, making sure they understand full transparency around what you're doing is going to be really important.
Yeah, and I think I understand that technology can be threatening. I mean, if you think about the previous century, 20th century, the amount of jobs and qualifications that died because of technological advances. I mean, there used to be people who would ride horse carriages, and there would be women who would work at the switchboards and switch, between telephone lines, and these were real qualifications that people were trained for, and then they disappeared because technology emerged. And but when it emerged, I find more jobs were created, and more and the market and job market actually grew. So I think when it comes to AI, we often hear at mining sites professionals telling us, "Oh, you're trying to replace us." The truth of the matter that when we come and get implemented on the mining sites, we're just trying to get their jobs easier. We're trying to help them, to relieve them from all those manual duties. We try to prevent them from walking around the faulty machines that can be potentially hazardous. We're trying to free up their time for more strategic and more important tasks, for really streamlining their maintenance strategies, for having full visibility into machine health, and for removing the guessing game. And we always say that we think that AI will never replace mining professionals, but mining professionals using AI will replace mining professionals not using AI. And this is, again, a gradual process, and I think it will happen over the next decade. And I hope it will really, really help mining industry speed up its digital transformation and optimization. Okay. So when we talk about this and speeding up the digital transformation, I think it's crucial for companies like Razor Labs, which is a technology provider, and companies like KPMG to partner, because KPMG bring the expertise of knowing the market, understanding the mining sites, understanding people involved and local cultures. And I think that combination is the one that really is a key factor in that one. What can you tell me about your experience working with technological companies and implementing technologies at Australian mining companies?
Yeah, I think having the right partners, as you said, is really important. I think one of the kind of key differentiators, at least I'm speaking personal experience, is being able to take people on that have real world experience. It's not always possible, but understanding the implications of the technology on the site or on the corporate office, what's it going to do? Because you've been in their shoes, you understand how it's going to play out in terms of what is the impact, good or bad. So really understanding your vendor or partner landscape and understanding the people, because ultimately the people are going to be the ones rolling it out, making sure they have the right experience, they have the right credentials, they've done it before. Obviously there will be some chances, some instances where that doesn't play out, but as much as you can possibly influence that, I think picking the right partners is an important one, like KPMG.
Absolutely. So Jake, because you've been involved with mining sector for such a long time, and you worked at Rio previously, I'd love to hear some real-world examples of successful change management or successful digital transformation processes that you witnessed or led.
Yeah, absolutely. A recent one came to mind was around, we've been working with a large coal mining company who are going through business change at the moment, we'll call it that. And over the last 12 to 18 months, what they wanted to do is understand their data landscape. So they understood they had a lot of data, some's good quality, some's not good quality. But how do they, from enterprise level, report on all that stuff? What's the strategy behind it? What's the tool they're going to use? How they can structure that data to be able to use in a meaningful way? So that's one where I saw it work really well. And the reason I believe it worked really well is because of all the things I said previously. It came from the top, so leadership was really brought in and they were driving this. It wasn't just a kind of reporting initiative that someone had spun up. They worked their KPIs, they engaged operations from the very start, so kind of aligning it to a real business challenge was something they did and did well. And they kind of involved all those teams in the definition of those KPIs. Then when it came to kind of rolling out the tool that they had picked, it was pretty seamless. So they defined it, they've done the pre-work early, sometimes that takes a little work, but making sure you get that part right and get people bought in, everyone is singing from the same song sheet as I mentioned before, it's really important.
Yeah, and what comes to my mind is that the approach that our client Glencore is utilizing in their adoption of technologies and innovation. So last year, actually, my colleague Tomer, our CBO, was on stage with the head of digital innovation and technology from Glencore, and he discussed the fact that at Glencore they don't just build those huge centers of excellence or centers of innovation. They kind of take this entrepreneurial approach where they define the KPIs, define the areas where they need improvement, and then they make some assumptions, and then they scale small proofs of concept, small pilots, and then after those are successful, they do the scale up. And I think that approach is really, really crucial when it comes to mining operations.
Yeah, one example as you're speaking there that comes to mind is not within mining, there's something to that, but it was with the utilities company. They were kind of stuck in this loop. It was around AI. They ideated a million use cases, and they were just kind of stuck in this loop going over and over, like just ideation, not actually getting anything done. So I think the kind of cautionary tale there is to make sure that you kind of pick and choose the right ones, get moving, realise value, and kind of move to the next thing.
Absolutely. I think movement is the key, 100%. So looking ahead, as the demand for critical minerals continues to grow, AI is becoming essential, technology adoption is becoming essential. From your experience and from your side of things, what is the next for mining industry in terms of technology?
Well, I think obviously a big part of the conversation right now is around artificial intelligence and what it can do. I think the big question is, what is it? When someone says AI, what do they actually mean? Being able to define how that's used for the mining industry, whether it's purely kind of removing some of the administrative work or transactional work, or it's got real applications in the front line. I think it's a combination of both. But kind of it works hand in hand with the people. I think, like we've spoken about already, we'll always need people in the mining industry. It's a very physical industry, so we're going to always need people. It's just how do we use technology like AI to take the dirt, like if you use an engineer sensor, an engineer has a lot of administrative tasks. How do we take that off them and allow them to do what an engineer should be doing? The evaluating, creating work that they can take that for and add value to the organisation. So I think that, yeah, works hand in hand with people, but people, leadership, governance, that's all behind.
Yeah, amazing. So if we're looking at the global mining market, it's estimated at thank you so much for the reminder, we're finishing up. It's estimated at $2.5, $2.3 trillion. It's a huge market. We see at Razor Labs that our idea and our vision for the future is eliminating all that waste that comes from sub-optimized maintenance, and there's a lot of waste. If you look at the maintenance You mentioned that maintenance is probably between 30 and 50% of the operational budget of the mining companies. So if you take those numbers, crunch them, and understand that at Razor Labs we've seen the optimization of 5% of maintenance costs. We're talking about billions of dollars that we can potentially save for mining companies that could be diverted to much better causes. So in our vision, we'd like to have a fully connected maintenance, fully managed maintenance, and the one that gives you full visibility into machine health and total visibility and certainty in how to prevent downtime.